feel like I've ordered so many shirts from you guys growing up. Like, 50% of my wardrobe growing up. Especially when I first discovered like you could use, like when I had a card for the first time and could buy shit online.
Yep.
I would end up like 50% of the time any of my searches led me to here. So that's awesome. This has to be like the best metal t-shirt ever designed. And oh shit, it's long sleeve though. I didn't know that.
We got a sale.
No, but I mean like I have, if I'm gonna go skating, I have to wear this shirt.
Oh, should I talk about it?
You should talk about it. Oh, no.
My family on my mom's side, they're all Scottish, and they pretty much introduced me to all of the more like eccentric sort of alt pop music. And I remember seeing Talking Heads and seeing them in these like massive suits, and the performance on stage, the way that they would sort of engage the crowd, and the artistry that they presented was so different than everything I was used to. But I was really like, my first love was like hip hop and R&B. So the way that they kind of engaged me as a kid, when it really wasn't what I thought was my vibe, Talking Heads kind of brought me into like the more eccentric world of I guess rock and pop and alternative music. So this shirt and this, I mean, just even this alone, just like in its simplicity, but the color choices are, it's just so like pleasing to me. So shouts out to Talking Heads. If I can find my size, you'll catch me in one of these on my Instagram.
I see. Kind of like a getting into punk staple band, you know. Just sort of start skating, and that was just like one of like 3 bands me and my friends listened to, and them and like Casualty.
I don't know, like I feel like there's nothing more tasteful than this band, and even the fact that like they can put out their live album and it sounds just as good as everything else that they've done. I think I listen to the live album more than anything else, and I don't know, I feel like a lot of bands can't pull off what they used to pull off, and just the way that her voice conveyed so much emotion, even with like unedited, like that Live at Roseland album. I must have listened to that like 100 times in a row when I got it. So I was so stoked you guys had that. And then I had to get this album, or this t-shirt, because this band, especially as a drummer, had a huge influence on my playing. I've seen them live probably like 7 or 8 times. So yeah, I had to get that.
My baby's personal hail. If history indicates what our people will see, you better get your papers right home. The steam is lighting up, so they'll let you be.
My favorite band of all time, Smashing Pumpkins. #1 favorite band ever, man. Just since I was a kid, my dad introduced me to them, and since I was a kid, I was just like so infatuated by them and their style, and the fact that they can switch up styles tastefully. It just sounds natural, everything they do, and their videos aesthetically just so cool, so beautiful. It's just perfect band.
Blink-182, obviously, you know, I'm from California, and this was like one of the most important bands of like my generation. I guess I'm on like the tail end of millennial culture, and this kind of shaped my 8th grade going into 9th grade summer. It was like a coming of age record. Enema of the State was like changed everything for me. That, as well as Mr. Travis Barker himself, is basically, you know, he's a part of this collective, the Fever Collective. He has shown us so much love, given us so much advice, guidance, you know, shared his platform with us. So we just have to shout out Travis specifically from Blink-182 for really making this whole Fever thing, you know, the thing that it is today. Without him, it wouldn't be what it is.
Save me from what I have become. Why get the end game? Why get the end game?
Ice Cube, you know, arguably one of the best rapper, writers, entrepreneurs. I mean, he did so much for the culture and just rap. Well, just the culture as a whole. Everything that has to do with the culture as a whole. He's like kind of like a beacon, like a north star for a lot of people from the hood too. You know, trying to figure out where you can go, how you can make it happen, and obviously from one of the most dangerous, most influential, most punk rock groups of all time, NWA, went ahead and did his whole thing solo, and continues to be one of the best there is. So this is just part of my DNA growing up. You know, anything to do with NWA, anything to do with West Coast, gangster rap and hip hop, and so saw this one and had to pick this one up for sure. And showed me this record.
And I remember at the time being like, I need to find a way to play drums like he plays bass. And I feel like that's still just a lifelong goal.
Totally.
But yeah, this tripped me out. It was so sick. It was like scary and funny at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, and I still play this every time I have like long drives on tour.
Only one. Am I the only one? Am I the only one? I'm not the only one that feels like the only one. Can't be the only one. Can't be the only one. Can't be the only one that feels.
It might be. Yeah, check this hard ass Rolling Stones ahead of the curve style jacket.
Who
Bro.
knew Rolling Stones could be hard, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yo, straight up, some of the most soulful white boys, you know, of the era, really. They brought a sense of, I guess, a sense of, like I say, I guess a sense of soul into rock and roll that, I don't know, I think it was pretty unique to them. And I also think that, you know, he was always talking about his love, James Brown, right? That was like his thing.
Yeah.
He like loved James Brown, and I think James Brown also gave him the cosign. So, I mean, that's pretty sick. Band, like this band, I was, I don't know, maybe 13, and I got that movie SLC Punk, and they had the song "Kill the Poor" on that soundtrack. And Jello's voice was just so wild, and it was so eccentric that just him speaking was punk rock. Like just him like making any sound, projecting any sound out of his mouth was punk. So this quickly became one of my favorite punk bands.
Feels like the only one. See, you're not the only one that feels like the only one. Am I the only one?
Okay, for any of y'all, especially like younger kids that may not be aware of this festival, Woodstock, it was like probably one of the most revolutionary moments in like live music history, right?
Next to Fire.
Next to Firefest, obviously, it's like takes a seat, actually quite far behind Firefest. It's like one of the most successful moments in music. But yeah, man, like people came from all over. It was almost like they just put out a signal, and bands just showed up. Hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, the streets were shut down. People just left their cars to rock and roll, you know, over a few days in the name of music and art. And I think one of the best tips they gave all the people there, aside from like liberating themselves and being free, was to not eat the brown acid. So this is just words to live by, really. You know, still to this day. Make sure that if you got a tab, let's not fuck with the brown one.
You know, like the message and like I don't know what they're trying to say. I'm just really not a fan of the music, not much of a fan of the live show. It's pretty overrated in general. I do respect that they're making music for people, you know, with a message and that can, you know, just kind of try to like better the world, but overall I just don't really understand the fuss. I don't get the need to do what they do on stage, and you know, the music again, it's just
Tell you
so
about repping this
watered
band,
down.
man.
Sorry, like I was saying, man, it's just I don't get it. It doesn't resonate with me.
Only one kick it.